The date that this video is posted proves that these predictions are being made ahead of time, as do these time-stamped emails and forensic notes PDF documents. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. The predicted dirty bombs in New York City will occur during the half-moon phase of the moon that will follow the blood moon lunar eclipse on March 14th, 2025, which will be centered over America. Okay? So North America, America is centered precisely in the middle of the area of the globe that will be able to witness this blood moon lunar eclipse on the night of March 13th, March 14th. And just following that, because a blood moon is a full moon, and following that will be the half moon phase, and that's when the predicted dirty bombs will explode in Manhattan. This is an amazing thing that God has brilliantly illustrated in his big picture of science. And what I'm about to explain is one way in which that is the case. The name Barack is equal to 216 in English gematria, and Obama was born on the 216th day of the calendar year. 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. 666, the number, is associated with the Antichrist in Bible prophecy. The half moon phase on March 22nd will be 216%, in other words, 6 times 6 times 6% of a calendar year, after the mass shooting by a 66-year-old in Half Moon Bay, California. 4 plus 4 people were shot, which hints at the 44th president, Barack, which is again why this is a second witness confirmation for the 216% of a calendar year connection, because that hints at Barack and 666 and the Antichrist, who is the 44th president. And this, by the way, is how God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections works. It works on the principle of second and third and multiple witnesses confirming a matter, as the Bible says is required. And this is what makes what is being explained on this channel true and not a product of one's imagination, and different and unique than everything else on the internet that claims to be an analysis of God's prophetic signs. And one simple, so he pairs these numbers together. Well, anyway, this is a second witness. The Barack number here paired with the 4 plus 4 deaths. Okay, now the shooting in Half Moon Bay, again, this connects with 216% of a calendar year to the predicted bombings on the phase of the moon that is the half moon. Okay, the Half Moon Bay shooting by the 66-year-old in California, in which 4 plus 4 people were shot, took place at 2 nearby farms. The 2 farms were nearby each other in the Half Moon Bay area, and it was 2 of them. So the shooter shot up people at one farm and then went to another. And first responders were notified at 2:22 p.m. Okay? 2 farms, 2:22 p.m. This shooting at 2 farms in Half Moon Bay, which is near Monterey which is on Monterey Bay, was the second mass shooting in the Chinese community in California after the mass shooting that occurred 2 days earlier on the Chinese Lunar New Year in Monterey Park in Los Angeles County, California. Okay, Monterey Bay is in Northern California, which is where Half Moon Bay is, where the shooting was on 2 farms that was notified at 2:22 p.m. But it was the second of 2 mass shootings in the Chinese community in California, and it was 2 days after the other one, which was in Monterey Park, which also hints at the shooting in Half Moon Bay, because Half Moon Bay is near Monterey on Monterey Bay. Okay, so Monterey Park is in Los Angeles County in California. The newly elected at the time Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna, Luna is Spanish for moon, presided over the investigation. Okay, so that was a big deal too. That was a big part of the story, is how this Sheriff Luna was speaking with the press every day for a few days, and he was a part of the news story, big time. And his name is Luna. And then 2 days later was the other Chinese community shooting, mass shooting in Half Moon Bay. And Luna means moon. Okay, 9 in this Sheriff Luna shooting, 9 people were injured and 11 people were killed in the Chinese Lunar New Year shooting in Los Angeles. The planes that struck the Twin Towers in New York City on 9/11 were destined for Los Angeles, which is why 9 people were injured and 11 people were killed. Because again, this all connects to the coming predicted dirty bombs in New York City, where the events of 9/11 occurred by the planes that were destined for Los Angeles. By the way, I just realized this, and I don't know where else I'll get a chance to insert this into something, but it occurred to me that California is the 31st state and New York is the 11th state, and 31 plus 11 equals 42. And this is the number that is associated with the Antichrist in Bible prophecy, but also every instance of this number in the Bible, including a number of occasions in the Old Testament, occur in the context of slaughter. For example, there were 42 cities people could retreat to if they had committed manslaughter. King Jehu had 42 prophets of Baal or members of the Ahab family slaughtered at the well. 42 were slaughtered after the she-bear attacked them after their encounter with Elijah. Okay, and of course in the book of Revelation, the Antichrist is involved with slaughter. And so anyway, that's just very interesting. And what we are talking about here are these slaughters, which are these mass shootings, and the coming slaughter regarding the Antichrist, but also the slaughter that occurred on 9/11, which is why 9 people and 11 injured. 9 injured and 11 killed in the Chinese Lunar New Year shooting in Los Angeles. And this Chinese Lunar New Year shooting in Los Angeles on January 22nd, 2023 was also 216% of a calendar year, which is 6 times 6% of a calendar year, before the predicted explosions in New York City. So again, a connection between Los Angeles and New York City, which hints at the planes on 9/11 that were destined for Los Angeles that flew into the towers in New York City.